All right, Shalom Israel. First and foremost, as always, I would like to give all praises, honor, glory, respect, and blessings to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachaha Kodash. Salutations to the Lord's elect on the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth and sincerity while patiently waiting for Yahweh Shai's return, and double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, which have taught us everything we know through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. And I just wanted to do a response video to a video that was uploaded by Cash Jordan, as you see at the top of the screen right there. ICE turns border into ghost town as migrants hide. So what I'm gonna do is play this video and continue from there.
In the span of just 4 quiet hours on the border, one migrant was apprehended and fought back tears as he was met by 6 federal agents who were likely to kick him back to Mexico within the same day.
So the U.S. border looks very different now than it did just a few months ago when thousands of people per day were entering America. But that's changed, and many unlawful immigrants find they're outnumbered, quickly apprehended, and immediately returned to Mexico, which in some cases puts people in an even more desperate situation than they were before getting caught, as many have just given their entire life savings to smugglers for absolutely nothing.
This is exclusive new video that shows migrants in Illinois leading police on a dangerous high-speed chase. That is a cornfield.
Well, new Border Patrol data now revealing that migrant encounters have dropped dramatically since Trump took office. Now, despite the overall drop in numbers, smugglers are still finding ways to bring migrants in illegally.
Pues soy triste. Que no crucé.
Pienso volver a salir de mi país porque quedé de verdad traumatizado con todo lo que pasé.
In an interview with our partner Telemundo, Kevin Rodriguez says he was detained in Guantanamo for 14 days.
There are still thousands of migrants in Mexico stuck in limbo. Smugglers in Mexico are capitalizing on the desperation of migrants and actually charging up to $80,000 just to be smuggled across the Rio Grande.
Some of these illegal aliens, they spent all their money, all their savings, all their resources.
I remember being down here nearly a year ago and seeing people desperate to get into the U.S. to get shot and then released. That's all over under this administration.
There are now so many troops at the border, it's turning into a ghost town. But just a few months ago, nobody running our country would even admit we had the resources to do something like this and shut down the border in the first place. And for years, everyone said we had the most secure border in history, and that restricting it further was not just impossible, but possibly inhumane, as closing it would just mean desperate people with nowhere to go would wait indefinitely in the middle of the Mexican desert, which hasn't happened. In fact, many unlawful residents already inside America are voluntarily deporting themselves if they don't think their asylum applications will get approved. And all of this has created a situation at the border that just makes ICE's job easier, requiring less resources, not more. Because if the place is a ghost town, when someone does decide to cross, a rapid response can immediately take place. And by quickly arresting those who illegally enter the country and turning them back, a message is being sent to the entire world that America's front door is no longer unlocked. But that brings us to the real reason this border crackdown had to start as quickly and rapidly as it has. Over the last 4 years, the country has seen record illegal immigration. And closing the border is just the first step in getting the dangerous gang members and criminals out of our country for good. A process that could take a long time, as millions of people have recently entered America. And as we're learning, not everyone has come here with good intentions, with some of the world's most dangerous criminals and gang members doing whatever they can to hide in plain sight.
Well, this is one of the largest operations we have seen yet. Around 90 illegal migrants were arrested. Border Czar Tom Homan joined that operation. He tells me it was phase 1 of a larger criminal investigation.
Look at that, almost 100 people arrested in just one raid. And with none of these individuals having legal permission to be in the country, this reveals a huge problem. The border can't just be shut down. It needs to be shut down while enforcement ramps up inside the United States. And as you're about to see, people who are particularly dangerous could end up in America's most controversial detention center.
Now we're hearing for the first time about the conditions inside the military base turned detention center. In an interview with our partner Telemundo, Kevin Rodriguez says he was detained in Guantanamo for 14 days. Now reunited with his family in Venezuela, he recalls spending days stuck inside a 9 by 6 foot cell.
Habían hasta telaraña, estaban en muy mal estado esa celda. Eso era lo que más me preocupaba, cuánto tiempo iba a estar ahí, cuánto tiempo iba a estar mi familia.
Okay, so here you have a guy who was detained at Guantanamo Bay, but not in the humanitarian relief center settings, but inside one of the actual cells, something that ICE says is reserved for people who they think are dangerous or are a higher level of offender in some regard. But it looks like he doesn't have plans to come back. Obviously, being deported is probably a frightening experience, and while he says the place he was in was dirty and not cleaned, every picture we get on the news looks like this. The place looks spotless. It looks nicer than a lot of jails in places like New York, that's for sure. But regardless, sentiments like these have a lot to do with why border crossings are down in the first place. If someone's going to be caught and there's a whole operation in place to quickly move you out of the country.
All right, I mean, that's pretty much all I'm going to play right there. As you've seen in the video, you know, our people do not seem to understand that they're being persecuted, okay? And a matter of fact, what I would like to do, because offline use, really? Not now. There's a time and a place for everything under the sun. Okay. Persecutor of our brethren. I wonder, hold on. Let's type in persecutor. Because see, our nation is constantly being persecuted by the devil, also known as the Edomites, which will be the self-proclaimed white man, which starts with their so-called global elites. Okay? You know, they're the main ones persecuting our nation. Okay? And the scriptures speak about the persecution that was going to come upon our nation. Okay? And the main factor behind these persecutions come from the fact that our forefather Jacob supplanted their forefather Esau out of their birthright. So let's see. Let me see. I believe he's known as the accuser. Okay. Okay, Revelation, the 12th chapter, is one of those chapters where it goes up in time and then it goes back in time. This is one of those prophecies where, you know, it goes up in time because the accuser of our brethren have not been cast down yet. Okay? And the proof of that is when you read verse 11, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto death. But then when you read verse 12, it speaks about the devil coming down with great wrath. So Revelation, the 12th chapter, is one of those chapters where it you know, it skips timelines. You know, it speaks of future prophecy, but then it speaks of prophecy that's going to happen, or it will be speaking of prophecy that is currently happening. But I'm gonna go ahead and read Revelation 12 verse 10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our God, the kingdom of our power. His name is Yahweh in the Paleo Hebrew, and the power, the God of his anointed, which who did Yahweh choose to be the Lord and Savior and the leader of the whole nation of Israel? He chose his son Yahweh, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. So you see, you're being accused right now. And that's what you northern tribes don't understand, you know. And the reason why you northern tribes don't understand is because a lot of you amongst the northern tribes have not been given, you know, the privilege of being able to hear the gracious and good word of Yahweh, which is Yahweh Shai, which would be the 100% truth of the Holy Scriptures. And so because you don't have this truth, like Yahweh Shai said, let's go there real quick. See? Which is why it's very important that you have this truth. Because when you have this truth, you understand why you're being deported. You understand why the devil's kicking you out of his country, putting you in concentration camps or in a Guantanamo Bay, you know, and you understand why he don't care about your living condition. You could be coming over here to sincerely, you know, make a life-changing decision for the better of you and your family. But if you don't understand why the devil is doing these things to you, then it's because you don't have the truth. Okay, John 8 verse 32, and ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. You see, when you have this truth, you understand why the devil is using his military to keep you out of this country. You understand why these Edomites is persecuting you and calling you illegal immigrants, despite the fact that this country belongs to you. You understand why. You know, because this truth teaches you who your enemy is. And according to the book of Psalms, okay, the 83rd chapter, it gives you a list of enemies of whom we have. Psalms 83 verse 1. Okay, a song or psalm, which goes to show you that the word psalm, Psalm, is another word for song. So a song or psalm of Asaph. Keep not thou silent, O Yahweh, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. So if you hate the Lord's people, then you hate the God of the Lord's people. So if they hate the Heavenly Father, how much more his people? They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. Okay, and a part of that crafty counsel is ultimately to genocide a large amount of people amongst our nation, which will ultimately be the 2/3 of the nation of Israel. Okay. And then they plan on putting chips in the rest of the people amongst our nation who do survive, and pretty much making them indefinite slaves. through a digital beast system. Okay, this is that crafty counsel which they have taken against our people and have consulted against thy hidden ones. Right, we are hidden to society because there's still a vast majority of the people out there in the world who don't know who we are. They look at us and they still think we're black, we're niggers, we're Negroes, we're African American, you know, not knowing that we are the true Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speaks of. The so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Indians are the true biblical Israelites that the Holy Scriptures speak of. So a lot of people, when they see these Latinos getting deported, they look at them as Latinos instead of, you know, being a Guatemalan or a Panamanian from the tribe of Zebulon, or being a Mexican from the tribe of Issachar, or being a Puerto Rican from the tribe of Ephraim, or being a Cuban from the tribe of Manasseh, or being a Argentinian or a Chilean from the tribe of Naphtali, you know, or being a Dominican from the tribe of Simeon. So we are those hidden people, okay, in which I believe that's in the book of Jeremiah. The Lord said, in the land where it was said unto you, you are not my people, there it shall be said, you are the children of the living God. In the main land where we are at, where we are not being called or acknowledged as the Heavenly Father's chosen people, that land is the United States of America, which is known as Babylon, or Babylon the Great in the Holy Scriptures, or the virgin daughter of Babylon. So we would be the hidden ones, you know. And the Lord further prophesied and said that we will lose our nationality in the book of Jeremiah, I believe the 17th chapter, where he said, and thou even thyself shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I have given thee. And also in Hosea, the 1st chapter, right? Where he said, where the Lord commanded Hosea to lay down with that harlot, and he shall name his son La'ah something. I can't remember the name, but basically it means no people or not my people. Okay, so you know, we are the Hebrew Israelites, but our true identity has been hidden to the people of the world. Verse 4, it says, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. Okay, and when did this happen? Well, this first happened in the land of Egypt. Okay, when Pharaoh, when the Egyptians communicated with one another, what did they say? They said, come and let us deal wisely with them. Okay. You know, and lest they multiply and be joined to our enemies and they overthrow us. Okay. So you know, the ancient Egyptians had a conspiracy to cut us all off. Now, a decree did go out for the Israelite males to be thrown into the river, into the rivers and the seas, and to drown to death. But not every Israelite male was killed off. Just a lot of them were, which also goes to show that the only type of species on this planet that can bring back their own nation is the man. Okay. That's why they targeted the males, because the males carry the seed. And we have the capability of bringing a Israelite into this world. The Israelite man is the only being on this planet capable of bringing a Israelite male back into this world. So they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. And they mainly say these things at their Peace Summit meetings, whether if it's P51, P32, P1678, whatever type of meeting they have. When they all come together, the only nation of people that is not at these meetings is our people. And there's a reason for that. Because at these meetings, there's a conspiracy concerning how to further destroy us, make us sin against the Lord, how to further put us in the dark and keep us away from the truth of the Holy Scriptures, and pretty much how to further separate us from our power and our God, which is Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, and then ultimately cut us off, meaning kill us off in large numbers. And that time is coming. That time is coming. That time is quickly approaching, where the self-proclaimed white man, who are the biblical Edomites, which the Holy Scriptures call the wicked and the devil, okay? Okay, that time is coming where they're about to genocide our people on a mass scale. Because there's billions of people on the planet, right? Well, we make up most of the world's population. Because what did the Lord say to Abraham? Israel, which I believe the Lord have also said before in the past, that Israel shall be as the sand of the sea. Okay? And as the stars of heaven. Now we can't see many stars at night because of all the mass light pollution down here on Earth. But if all the lights were to go out in the city, you will see a lot more stars up in the sky than what you normally see at night. And when I say all the lights going out in the city, I'm talking about the whole state, basically. All the lights going out in the whole state. You'll see a lot more stars up at night. And you can't count how many stars there are up in the night sky. So that's what it means to be innumerable. It means you can't count them. And there's a lot more stars up in the night sky than what you see from down here. Because there's stars even above those stars. And there's stars above the stars behind them. And thus far, it's never ending. So, they have a plan to mass genocide our people on a global scale. Okay? Through what? Slaughter bots, Terminator robots, through the heart program, through the food, the air we breathe, the water we drink, through letting these dangerous animals such as tigers and bears and lions that you see in these zoos out into the streets, wild dangerous animals out into the streets, through using CERN, through geoengineering, through martial law. We can't forget about martial law, through martial law, concentration camps, through different sects, sects, through different sects of militias, through their UN army, through these newly created beasts, which they have in these secret underground labs. And this is all going to be tied to Jacob's trouble. That's why the Holy Scriptures speak about a time that shall be like never before. Okay, and they also plan on mass genociding our people through disease warfare, pestilence, deadly viruses, viruses that could turn people into zombies, through cutting off the food supply and starving our people out. All these things are coming, man. So they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. Okay? And there's a particular way that they're going to have of carrying out these things. You know? They're going to make them, these Edomites are going to make themselves seem justifiable in doing these things. Okay? We can't forget about 9/11. 9/11 was an inside job done by the U.S. government. But who did they put the blame on? They put the blame on the Arabs, which justified them going over there and genociding those Arabs, which are the biblical Ishmaelites, and leaving them few in number, pretty much. You know, even if it is just a population of 100,000 Arabs, okay, that's still a very small amount of people compared to 300 million. Even if it was just a population of 500,000, you see? You know? So they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. You know? You know? It says, they have consulted together with one consent. And you better best believe, if they put a chip in your ass, you're not going to be able to profess yourself to be an Israelite anymore. And if you do, okay, these so-called global elites will just turn off your chip and starve you out. You'll be cut off from the grid of the beast system. You won't be able to buy food. You won't be able to enter stores. Okay? You won't be able to, you know, you won't be able to access vending machines. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. They are confederate against who? The nation of Israel. And these are the list of enemies that are confederate against our neighbor. These are the nation of people that are confederate against our nation. The tabernacles of Edom. And they're the very first one listed at the very top. The Edomites, that's the self-proclaimed white man today, which starts with their so-called global elites. And the Ishmaelites, which are the Arabs, and the Moabites, and Moab, which are the Chinese, and the Hagarenes. Okay? Gebal and Ammon. Ammon will be the Japanese today, and Amalek. Amalek are them small hats. The Philistines, them Africans who still smell like shit, even if you spray Lysol on them, okay? The Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur also is joined unto them. They have hope in the children of Lot Selah. So you see, these Edomites do not love you northern tribes. This is why this question was asked. Okay? Jeremiah chapter 2 verse 33. Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love? You know? Why do you keep trying to come over here to America like this is a great country or something? You know? Why do you persist on coming here, man? You know, y'all think that just because y'all skin complexion is almost similar to these Edomites, you think they're going to be buddy with you? Nah, man. These Edomites do not want you northern tribes over here. You know why? Because they hate your guts. Okay? They understand that you are the enemy of their nation. But y'all don't understand that these Edomites are the enemy of our nation. You're coming over here for better opportunities, not knowing that this country is going to be a lake of fire as prophesied in the book of Revelation. This country is going to become a lake of fire through nuclear warheads. So why trimmest thy way to seek love? Therefore hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways. Right? And you most definitely taught the wicked ones our ways when they came over here. Okay? When the wicked, the Edomites came over here, when they was calling themselves conquistadors, when they was calling themselves English Dutch mercenaries, when they was calling themselves Spaniards, okay? You know, when they came over here, like it tells you in Psalms, the 55th chapter, the 20th verse, you know, they put forth their hands such as be at peace with them. You know, y'all showed these devils peace and love, and what did they do? They gave you a blanket laced with smallpox, okay? They infected you with scarlatina. They gave you lice. They infected you with typhoid and typhus. Okay, they gave you chickenpox, smallpox, tuberculosis. And a lot of you died off in large numbers from those diseases. You know? Y'all come over here to America like these Edomites are cool with you, but they're not, man. These Edomites are not cool with you Latinos, man. They hate your guts. Okay, the scriptures speak about how the anger of these Edomites did tear perpetually. Is that in Obadiah? One moment, man. Let's see. Did tear. Okay. Okay, it's in Amos, chapter 1, verse 11. Okay, thus saith the Lord. When you see the Lord in all caps, that's talking about the Most High, whose name is Yahweh. A name that can only be uttered in the Paleo-Hebrew. His son's name can only be uttered in the Paleo-Hebrew. Okay, his son's name is Yahawashai. For 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath, which the word wrath means extreme anger, and he kept his wrath forever. So you see, these Edomites do not love you Latinos, man. And they really want y'all to just die and disappear, man. Okay, that's how these so-called white people feel about you Latinos, man. They want y'all to just they want y'all to just die and disappear, man. They don't want to look at another wetback, you know. That's what they're saying in their mind, man. Man, I look forward to the day when I don't have to look at another wetback or another spick. You know, They probably stopped buying spick and span bottles just because the word spick is on it. You see what I mean, man? But you know what? The time is coming when these Edomites is going to show their horns. You know? Start shooting y'all down and shit. Because when you really come to understand the Holy Scriptures, it's really about Jacob, which is our people, the nation of Israel, the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Indians, versus the nation of Esau, which will be the self-proclaimed white man. So inevitably, there's bound to be a war between us. Because it goes all the way back to the book of Genesis, the 25th chapter, where Jacob and Esau was fighting in the womb, and the Lord told Rebekah that two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. Okay? Two manner of people. We are not the same as Edomites, okay? We have style, we have flavor. We have serious skills and talent. Okay, we reign supreme and dominate in sports. And whatever we set our hand to do. You know, mentally, spiritually, and physically, we're stronger than Edomites. And they know this. You know, we learn quickly. You know, and we're capable of some amazing feats the world has never seen before. You know, we like to eat our food fully cooked. You know, and another thing too is that we have a conscience. When we do something that we know that we shouldn't, you know, it fucks with our head, man. But Edomites, the self-proclaimed white men, on the other hand, okay, they can't dance. They're not really all that good at sports, you know. Their skills and their talent is nowhere near on the level as ours, you know. The things that they're into is just weird shit, man. Okay? They're into, you know, studying barnacle dicks and coming up with lies and shit like evolution and, you know, the Big Bang Theory, and that they're into eating their meat raw or half cooked with blood is still in it. You know? They're into little boys and little girls sexually. Okay? They're into you know, they can't hoop, you know. And you know, really, they're just different, man. You know, they're all into mountain climbing and, you know, jumping 1,000 feet from the sky, parachuting. They're into bungee cord jumping, sneaking up on animals, hunting. You see? We don't go around doing that shit. You know? So, You know, why would you want to hang around Edomites? Why would you want to be like them, man? Is it because they're in power? Anyways, with that, I'm going to say Shalom is on to the next one.
Country back to where you started. The whole idea of secretly entering America looks like a big waste of time, which is completely different than how it looked just a few months ago.
The Post recently got the opportunity to ride along with Border Patrol agents in the El Paso, Texas sector, which spans both West Texas and New Mexico. In the span of just 4 quiet hours on the border, one migrant was apprehended and fought back tears as he was met by 6 burly federal agents who were likely to kick him back to Mexico within the same day.
Okay, so this guy did what a lot of people do. He paid smugglers to help get into the country, but he was immediately caught and he's being immediately turned back. And he says that it cost him $7,000. That's a lot of money to throw down the drain, that's for sure. That could bankrupt somebody. And with the border now on total lockdown, with there being more agents there than there are people trying to get across, the idea of illegal immigration is now a bad one. Not only because it's an immediate waste of time and money, but also because if you enter the country illegally, you can no longer apply for asylum. And thus there is no more asylum crisis.
It was his second attempt crossing the border, which just cost him $7,000 in smuggling fees to the coyotes or cartel operatives who helped him make entry.
So he spent over 10 grand trying to get into the country and it hasn't worked out.
Some of these illegal aliens, they spend all their money, all their savings, all their resources to make this illegal entry into the United States.